Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here, and it's time to review Prey. This is the latest Predator movie, kind of. And I have never seen a Predator movie, not even Predator. So this was my first. And you know, the movie doesn't feel like you need to see it. And if you do need to see it and I missed out on stuff, then oops. This is a very interesting idea for a franchise film. It's actually very similar to Dan Trachtenberg, the director's previous film 10 Cloverfield Lane, in which he took a franchise where people are needing to fight off an alien and he put it in a more contained location with completely different characters, and the only thing they have in common with the franchise is that they're fighting off an alien. If we're gonna have to have a market that's oversaturated with IP, I like to see stories like this thrown in, that are stories that have very little to do with the franchise but that get made because they attach themselves loosely to a franchise. I thought 10 Cloverfield Lane was very good. Possibly even better than Prey, but Prey definitely lives up, and visually I think it's a step up from 10 Cloverfield Lane for sure. The action scenes in this movie are great. The cinematography is really good. Would it kill more action films to look this good? The camera work does a great job capturing the beauty of the environments. It uses natural lighting really well, and it changes up color palettes from scene to scene in a way that's really compelling. Like there's the forest fire scene where everything has this blue haze over it. I thought the action was very well paced. It didn't feel like it repeated itself too much. And I thought it has a pretty compelling main character at the center of it. Sure, she's not too deep. There's not much going on other than like she's trying to prove herself as a hunter. Of course, she's like a little weaker than the others naturally, and so she has to make up for that with her resourcefulness and her skills and her wits and her brains. The movie does a good job building up suspense for the Predator and making you kind of go, oh shit, like how is she gonna take this on? There's no way. Like she can't even defeat a bear and the Predator can rip that thing apart in a second. So what's compelling is that it's like an against all odds kind of thing. It's insane to me that some people are concerned about whether or not that makes the movie woke. Like that's literally just what makes it a compelling movie, is that it's tough for her to do it and yet she has to use her brains to be able to do it. I also just think it's very sad that there are a lot of reviews on YouTube that are just evaluating whether or not the movie contains woke, and it's just such a terrible way to watch a movie. I wasn't all that compelled with the first like maybe 30 minutes, but then there were some really strong scenes where I'm kind of going like, oh shit, you really feel like you're at the center of the action. This character is like beholding this beast that has like technology in the 1700s. Like she doesn't even know how to comprehend this thing, and it gets increasingly more violent as the movie goes on, which was a treat. Lots of people getting torn apart in this movie, and it builds up to a pretty satisfying conclusion. Now, did the movie go above and beyond in many ways? I mean, I would say yes in terms of how it was shot, how it sounded. The score I think was really good too. But when you give me the setup of this movie, I pretty much know how it's gonna play out, and it played out like exactly that way. And so in a sense, this movie kind of ended with like a shrug. That's kind of what I thought this movie was. Like it delivered on what I came for. It didn't really go further than that. There was also a rule in this movie that if you've seen it, you'll know, regarding what the Predator will or won't attack. And it feels like kind of a weird rule. Like the Predator would be able to like distinguish that so well, but I accept it for the most part for what the movie wants to do and what it's trying to say about, like, you know, she can't be underestimated. So overall, this is just another very good action movie released in 2022, which, as far as I'm concerned, is like one of the best years for action movies that we've had in a long time. I would give Prey a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Who's hunting you?